now we come to the story about dreams and the two-headed rooster on the windowsill. The first point I want to make about this story is that we ask God to interpret what we're experiencing. I think so many of us just sort of blow through life and odd things happen. People say things to us that we don't understand, events, that we can't make sense of, or God stirs something in us, or we have a dream and we don't get it. And the point is, right, that's the beauty of walking with God. Now you have some place to turn, right? The treasure of this is, Jesus, teach me. What is this about, Lord? I find myself asking that question a lot as I go through my day. Lord, what's that about? It's a very helpful thing to begin to put into practice. Okay, now on the story about dreams, what I was unpacking here was one of the dynamics of the kingdom of God. As you go through walking with God, what I'm learning is not only how to listen to God's voice or how to deal with spiritual warfare, or how to find inner healing. I'm learning how the kingdom of God works. We live in a kingdom. And that kingdom, the kingdom of God, has a lot of dynamics to it that most of us are uninstructed in. And here's a basic one, the dynamic of authority. What God was revealing to me was that I was still somehow under the spiritual authority of this former organization I worked in, and then I needed to come out from under that and sanctify myself to Christ, because the only safe place to live, my friends, is under the authority and under the claim and the protection of Jesus Christ. But all kinds of things are constantly trying to assert authority over our lives. There may be generational issues coming down through your family line. There may be issues of a former religion or a cult that you're coming out from under as you come to faith in Jesus Christ. And what we need to do is to say, Lord, help me sort that out. Teach me to pray about this and about that, so that we learn how the kingdom works, and so that we can bring the authority of Christ over our lives, and so that we're not sort of living under any other cloud or any other claim of authority to our lives. As Colossians says in chapter 1, you have been ransomed from the kingdom of darkness and transferred to the kingdom of God's dear Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. We belong to the kingdom of God, and that's where we want to live, and that's where we want to stay, and that's where we want to learn how to operate.